Welcome back to the first round of the top 8
Yeah.
here on the Scandinavian Open number 4 here in Stockholm. The format is, well, it was sealed earlier today,
Yeah.
and now we're having draft.
Yes. So the first round will be Markus Angelin, which we followed both during deck building as well as the draft.
All right, red-white aggro deck.
Yeah, it's very all in. I believe it will be very consistent. I believe its mana is stronger than most of the players in the field, but it's also lacking in some power, and it can get shut down by just a regular.
But it is a punishing deck, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And considering how much of the 3-colored thing, like the cards were gone, he might get rewarded for it.
Yes, we'll see.
Yeah.
I spoke shortly to Olof earlier. He's been drafting Sultai, fairly grindy. He said it was heavy on bombs, and I think he's also a player that really encourages people to play fairly tight mana bases. So
Sultai having amazing bombs.
Yes, and we also saw the I can't recall the name, the 4/5 flyer with Delve, the 9-drop.
The 9-drop?
Yeah, there's a 9-drop which we saw Markus open and pass.
Oh yeah, the Necropolis.
Yeah, the Necropolis Fiend, precisely.
Yeah.
So
it's
I would.
It's like a gargoyle.
Oh,
I think.
okay. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
But regardless, it is a very strong card.
Yeah, it's a very grindy card.
Indeed. And I would not be surprised if it had found its way into Olof's second on the table. We're not quite sure where Olof sat in relationship to Markus, but really, even then, it's
Sultai has a lot of Delve. I think that it is the Delve clan.
Well, yeah, Delve is the Sultai mechanic,
Is
but
it?
yes, it is.
Of course.
Yeah, there you go. But yes, Sultai does have a lot of very powerful cards if they get the time to play them. So unfortunately, I think we'll be having some fairly short feature matches here.
Yeah, I think either the Sultai deck gets like some cheap blockers
earlier
and just locks up the game soon, and then I think Markus is gonna scoop because he can never win. If his opponent is above 14 life, he can never win.
Right, so we're starting to get underway here.
Shaky cam.
Yes, here we go. So again, I think depending on how Olof has built his deck, he might have difficulty dealing with Markus' aggressive starts. But if he can stabilize,
is he playing without sleeves?
Yes, Markus. He usually does actually.
I can never shuffle without sleeves.
Yeah, Markus is old school. So here we go. Presenting the deck, and Olof just making sure he has something to record. Yeah, record the life total on.
I think we have some in the studio.
We might, but most likely not, seeing as how he's preparing new ones.
Yeah, I spotted mine, just forgot about it.
Yeah.
Well, so red-white against Sultai.
Yeah.
Did you see anything about his deck?
No, I did not see the deck.
He didn't even tell you bombs.
No. And
keep it secret.
Yeah, Markus was just incoming as well. I didn't think he wanted to give any information up, but he was happy with the deck. He think it went nicely, and he said it was heavy on bombs. I quote. So
yeah, you mean Olof?
Yes,
Olof.
Yes, yeah. Markus.
Markus was sad he didn't get a brusher boulder.
Yes, very. He we spoke to him earlier. He said he would have first picked it out of pack 3 if he had found one. He would take it over basically anything.
Yeah, I almost agree to that. Because he had 4 ferocious.
Yeah, he has a lot of ways to trigger ferocious, but I don't actually think any ferocious cards in his deck. So
no, I mean Barrage Boulder being ferocious.
I mean, but really when you have this, so I think Markus has a fairly easy keep here.
Yeah, I think this deck never mulligans. I think almost.
Well,
I think I see 3 lands, a Baiting Dragonfire. Maybe 4 lands.
All right, so here we see a 1-drop. Definitely not what Markus wants to see.
A threat. Wow.
So awkwardly, this does not match up that great for Markus.
Do you think Olof might have come into this match prepared?
I don't think I don't think so.
Don't know.
I think you're gonna draft what you're gonna draft.
Yeah, but do you really play the Ripper turn 1?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because the most common turn to have a play in this format is turn 3, both because of the
true.
So
as a swine.
This enables you to use your mana more efficiently.
So Markus really wants to draw Orc Lightning character.
Yeah. So we spoke about this earlier, how the really worst case for Markus is facing down for perhaps a turn 1 Typhoid Rats and then Jeskai Sages or the like, and this really isn't that far off. So an Arc Lightning here would take care of both of these creatures.
And are we gonna see one?
Are we gonna see one? That's a bait. No,
Yeah, that's
there's
an
the go. Arc Lightning. So get him for 6.
An abomination.
Yes. So which probably means that Olof does not have another morph, or usually you play your worst morph on turn 3, trying to bait out the removal.
Yeah, he looks to have a handful of lands. I think I see 3 lands there.
Yeah, is that Gurmag Angler in the back as well? So
Yeah.
no play. Oh, so Olof is gonna take lots of damage here if he doesn't have some sort of removal spot, and he doesn't seem to have one. So
We're 3 minutes into the match,
Yeah.
and he's already facing almost lethal.
yeah, so
He's done a 9.
yeah. So next turn he's gonna be able to play his Angler, but
The expert.
yeah. So if he plays his Angler here, taps out for it, Markus is just gonna suicide in his creatures.
Yeah, and if he has Aerostorm in the hand, it's game.
Yeah, I think he also has a Bathing Dragonfire, right? Doesn't really do. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
he
that's-
does have the Aerostorm in hand, I believe.
Either that or Burn Away.
Oh, it's the Burn Away. Yeah.
Burn Away.
Yep.
And it exiles the graveyard, right?
Yes,
And
it doesn't matter here.
Yeah.
And there we go. So game 1 in the books for Markus Angelin.
And that took 3 minutes.
Yeah. So hopefully,
We have a backup match. Our producer told us
Oh.
that we will have a backup match
Oh.
if able. We might have to wait a little
Yeah.
if they're in the middle of a game because
Yeah.
we won't move them. But
Yeah.
if this takes less than 10 minutes,
yeah,
I think we're fine.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
We can talk about draft.
yeah. So as we said, I think these games are going to be fairly one-sided. Either Olof manages to stabilize against Markus early onslaught, or he doesn't. The Arc Lightning
That
here
Arc Lightning,
really
wow.
being with. I mean, if that was any other card, Markus would just have been standing around with 4/1s for several turns and not having any sort of offense going.
Yeah.
So
I think I saw Butcher of the Order. I might be mistaken, but I might have seen it.
can't really tell. I think that we saw Rakshasa Secret
Wait,
there.
wait. Is that a wilderness wealth? That is a wealth.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So
Someone picked the wealth.
yeah, so
I mean,
so
it can be good.
yeah,
You
I
played
think
it really
you
granular.
definitely bored out the wealth here. I think.
Yeah, it's
you,
just,
I think you bored out. Is that an incremental growth? Because I think you bored that.
I
that
think
as well,
that was a grim contest in the hand in his deck. Okay.
yeah, that could be it.
That's an invocation.
Yeah, if he did say he was splashing the blue, he was he was black green splashing blue, so I think he might be bringing in the invocation depending on how the rest of his deck looks. Not entirely sure, but
Did we
really
find a tower shell as well? I think he had one.
that could be it. But really, you don't want to bring in the tower shell in this matchup because if anyone,
Yeah, but he had one. I think
yeah,
in main.
if anyone plays Active Treason in this draft, it's Markus Angelin. And Active Treason works so incredibly well against the turtle because you get to steal it forever.
Do you think it's worth trying to get a producer to get us the deck list, or do you
Yeah.
think it will be over before he even
I-
gets them?
I think if it's over, well, Markus will be a very happy man.
Yeah.
So
Well, we know Marcus' deck list. We don't
yeah,
know Olof.
exactly. We do see some of the cards. Well, just the fact that he isn't playing Kintry Invocation.
I think
does
I think
say
he took out
something
the
about his
right
deck.
of Cerebrant.
Yeah,
We saw it
that's-
in draft, and he might be the one who picked it up.
Yeah, that could definitely be it. It's definitely too slow for
It's
him.
a 6-mana removal. You don't want that against
no.
this deck.
Interestingly, he had a Rakshasa Secret.
Is that good in this matchup?
I would say that you want to board out everything that doesn't affect the board in this sort of matchup.
But he can take his burn spell.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Exactly, you can take his burn spell. So
But he doesn't know he has that many burn spells.
No,
he doesn't know he has double Arrow Storm and also a Phoenix.
No, well, the Phoenix is
Well,
something else entirely. But he knows that Markus is playing the sort of deck that tries to get in some early damage and then tries to finish you off with the cards he has in his hand. Obviously, Barrage of Boulders is something Olof is going to be thinking about the entire game.
Yeah.
So even though Markus doesn't have one, I could see Olof leaving in that kind of effect just to make sure that you cut that Arrow Storm, cut that Barrage of Boulders out of his hand before Markus is able to use it to finish off the game. That said, it still does not block his 4/1s or his 3/1s, so I could definitely see him taking it out as well. Right, so players looking at their first 7 cards here. see if we can see it. So there's a Bloodfire Enforcers and a few, just 2 lands, I believe, and slightly too many white cards for Markus to be perfectly happy. But he does keep, and Olof starts off with a dual land here. So land go for Markus, no turn 1 play, which is would obviously just be the Swift Spear. Can't quite tell what Olof has in hand, but Archer's Parapet.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a very good card.
Well, it is very good, but at the same time, it doesn't remove anything. So
no, well, it technically does. It means that the biggest of Markus' attacker will not be an attacker for the most part of the game.
Yeah. I think you see an Active Treason in his hand. Also the Prowler or the Jetty, as I call it. But
there's the Summit Prowler. There's also Bloodfire Expert, and I believe the Bloodfire Enforcer.
Yeah, an Active Treason.
An Active Treason. So Bloodfire Enforcer is the only card out of these cards that can actually punch through the wall and live. Curiously, he does. Oh, so he does up to play at turn 2 here.
Olof has 2 Grim Contours in hand.
Oh,
which is great with the Parapet.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think we're gonna see one.
No, just the morph. So
I think that is an abomination of Gudul.
Yeah, all right.
It's the only morph we saw.
Yeah, but there are plenty of morphs, and especially these colors are have the highest quality morphs.
Yeah, but
our spotter is telling us it's most likely abomination of Gudul.
Yeah.
So Olof with removal spells as well as a Gurmag Angler in hand, which can probably just dominate this board. So is that morph the Ash Cloud Phoenix?
I don't know.
Does he have any other morphs? He has the white flyer. I believe he had it in his hand earlier.
He also has the black one. I don't know if he plays that one.
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
So will he? Yeah. So he's gonna flip this just to gain the life, and then let the Grim Contest resolve.
Yeah, Phoenix can. You can morph Phoenix itself, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Still lacking in the white mana. I'm not quite sure how many white sources Markus is playing, but I don't think it's really that many. I don't think it's a very even split. Sunset Pauscast is the only card in the middle of his curve.
Fire Expert. I think I see Burnaway in his. Yeah, is either Burnaway or Active Treason.
I don't know, but if he can make sure to make that, So if he can get the removal spells out of Olof's hand and then try to trigger the Bloodfire Expert, that's gonna be it's gonna be very difficult to deal with. But again, Olof with the colors that are highest in interaction in the format. So
Olof I think he has a second Grim Contest in hand. Second, and he's probably gonna kill the Prowler.
Yeah.
And it looks really good for Olof.
Well, he doesn't really have to kill the Prowler. It doesn't do anything right now.
Yeah, that is true. But
he's gonna flip.
Yeah, and that is an abomination.
Morph. Yeah, there we go. So he's gonna get in for damage.
He gets to make his angler cheaper.
Yeah, precisely. He gets the loot, so he fuels his delve cards, and also gets some selection out of it. So
it's a loot effect, not a rummage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just regular. Is that a brutal horde chief? I think that was a brutal horde chief. I only saw a flash of it, so I'm not. He discards the brutal horde chief. Okay, so Markus.
Markus should realize this hand is full of removal.
Yeah, yeah. And how do you like this play from Olof there? Because really, Olof won't be the one attacking this game. He'll really not get any triggers off the horde chief.
You must block it with the Parapet. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Even.
Yeah, you absolutely block. If you don't block, what's the Parapet for? It doesn't do anything.
Yeah, exactly. Parapet being. I think Parapet and the 07 are underrated cards. The one they can tap down.
The 07 is slightly worse, obviously, because it's the difference between a 5-drop and a 3-drop.
Exactly. But the tap down is.
It's powerful. It's significantly better than sealed, though.
They're almost bombs in sealed. Really good in sealed.
I think that's
perhaps
overstating it a bit, but yes, I believe they are undervalued. That I definitely think that's true.
And he gets his the anger does not get cheaper.
Yeah,
that's
by the
way, being pretty good. I mean,
I've seen some people putting in their sideboards for their constructed decks.
Yeah, when Whip was pretty big.
Yes.
I remember. having to play against it.
Now, not being a standard player myself, I can't tell whether or not that's actually viable, but...
Yeah, you can kill their Doomwake Giant. It's
Yeah.
one of the few removals for that, and they take out the graveyard.
So I believe the players are currently discussing whether or not the creature also gets exiled, and that's certainly the case.
Yeah, I think so. They missed it the last game, I think.
Yeah, I think, but that was also the winning play.
Yeah, it was
So,
not relevant. It's
no.
just, yeah, I think you deal damage, then if the creature dies, you exile. I can't
Yeah, it's part of the resolution
Yeah.
of the spell, so... yeah, so Grim Contest going to... I think that's actually in Olof's, or rather in Marcus's favor here, because now he can play the...
Never mind. The
Yeah.
Typhonal Rat coming down.
Yeah,
Oh
but still, he can
God.
play the Bloodfire Enforcer, and if
But he's gonna play a Sandstep Outcast, I
Yeah,
think.
alright. Yeah, start getting through the flying damage.
Yeah.
Because if he gets to active treason a creature, then he has a 5/2 trample first striker. That gets through everything on Olof's board right now, and
Yeah.
demands an
Even
answer.
Angler.
Even Angler, yeah.
And
So-
I think that is the biggest creature he has.
Yes.
No, he has
Uh,
the Necrotic Fiend.
We don't know that.
And that's true. I didn't see it.
No.
He
we
might
have-
have a tower.
yeah,
turtle.
yeah, that's true. 5/9 is a very big wall, but
Yeah.
so
So Angler being played.
yeah,
Well, he can active treason the Angler, which is
Yeah.
actually a right play.
yeah.
He has a expert
Yeah.
in hand.
I think he'd like to get the Pros trigger, and also he does only have 5 mana, so he can't play both of them. So I think it's
Yeah, he also probably wants to hit if he plays
yeah.
the active treason.
Yeah, so there we go, Bloodfire Enforcer. So next
Oh.
turn we're gonna build ourselves our own 5/2 first striker.
Our Angler killer.
Yeah. So interestingly enough, Olof will see it coming. He can double block both the Angler and the Rat on the Bloodfire Expert, which I think is the play he would have to make, but it's kind of awkward for him. So he's just passing the turn here. Is that a single card in his hand? And I believe that's a land.
Doesn't he have an instant already in the graveyard?
Yes, he
yeah,
does.
Yeah, active treason is a sorcery.
Active Treason is a sorcery, and Burn Away is an instant. So
Yeah, is he playing the burn? He's just building his field. I mean.
yeah, yeah. All right. So
No, it was not an active treason
No.
in hand.
no, we must have been mistaken.
Yeah, some culture. Really?
Yeah, but still, this this is a very impressive board. Now imagine if you actually had a barrage of boulders. There we go.
How much damage is that? He has
Lethal,
a,
I'd say.
Yeah, he has a 1/1. He has a 3/5. That's 5. I mean 4, 8, 9, 11, 13, 18 again. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's lethal, or
Yeah.
maybe one short. But the way to barrage of boulders did damage to you as well. To the
No.
to
No.
to creatures.
Only your opponent.
Yeah.
So we do have the 1/1 flyer at the top there, getting through for 1 damage, and also Olaf most likely gonna ping Marcus for 1 at the end of the turn. So
So he wants a active treason or like a arrow storm here.
yes,
Arrow storm will probably be
actually,
the better one.
yeah. Awkwardly enough, I think he might just want to active Arrow Storm pre-combat on possibly on the Typhoid Rats.
Yeah.
Just
yeah.
to make sure.
Then
that
there's
they're-
no good
Yeah.
blocks.
No, which is which is a fairly awkward use for a 5-mana removal spell.
Yeah.
But oh, that's a Rune Mark. That's the one that gives first strike
What do you give it to?
+2/+2 in first strike on this
The
board.
flyer?
No, I don't think so, because the flyer is your only source of consistent damage right now. I think you put it on the Bloodfire Expert.
Yeah. It
Because-
becomes this is pretty big.
Yeah, because that way it's actually a player. You don't want to put it on your Bloodfire Enforcer, I think. Oh, actually, here we go. Because that if you find a sorcery, that's already a player.
Yeah, it has
so,
trample, right?
It gets trampled.
Yeah, it
Right now it doesn't. So now it's a 7/4 with first strike, which demands an answer. It's certainly
It depends on
dealing
double block as well. If it's if you're gonna get it.
Yeah,
No,
it's 7 power now.
Yeah.
Even a double block won't take care of it. So I think Olaf will just take the damage here. Yeah, he does.
And you go down to 10.
So Olaf flooding somewhat, and awkwardly enough, he has this was the same game where he discarded a brutal horde chief.
Yeah.
So at that time,
Brutal Horseship would be
no on this
Not-
board it would just be a 3/3.
yeah. You never activate. I don't never. think you
He
would.
doesn't have the mana for it.
He doesn't.
No, it's white and red hybrids to activate.
Oh.
He-
He's a Mardu card.
Yeah, precisely. I mean, it's a very good card, but on this
It's,
on this board,
it's
it's
a
just
bad Hell Rider.
It's just a hill giant. So, All right, here we go. Necropolis Fiend. That's
How
gonna.
big is it?
It's 4/5. I think he just used up his entire graveyard, so he can't start eating up the 1 power or 1 toughness creatures on the other side.
You have the double way card.
Yeah, you have to delve away 1 card for each -1/-1 you wish to give the opponent's creature, as well as tap 1 mana for each.
That's both.
So yeah, still not a this is not a great attack for
you can
for
double
Markus.
block and then activate away the.
I think
wait, that gets +2/+2
I
as well.
think that
Is it a
Markus
7/4 or is it a
It's-
7/2?
it's a 7/4 with first strike. So
Never mind.
I think he's just going to attack here. Olof does have the double block, and he might just take it. But really, Markus can't let that Necropolis Fiend take care of the game, because if he tries to go long, any card that Olof gets in his graveyard is going to be a removal spell.
You kill the Necro if you get the chance.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't want him to start killing your
No.
experts and.
No, since you know that your deck is filled with 1 toughness creatures, you really...
You're killing the.
Yeah.
You're killing the Necro here.
Yeah,
What
absolutely.
does he have in hand?
2 lands, I believe.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's 2 lands. I think it's 2.
A ride down here would be devastating, but unfortunately that's not the case. So, did he also attack with a 1/1? It seems like he did,
I think it did as well.
which is
I must have had.
It's a bold call, certainly.
No, I didn't attack with a 1/1. It's in the middle of the field. So it didn't attack.
Yeah. All right. So, and Ash. So
Yeah.
another flyer. So
And
dead in 2 turns in the air.
This can start to being a burn spell almost.
Yeah,
you flip it up.
absolutely. Now all of a sudden, Olof needs not just 1 but 2 removal spells to take care of that Phoenix
Or
in
quick
quick
exile if he has.
Yeah, in quick succession.
Yeah.
And really, there's not that much exile effects.
And if Markus gets to untap,
in between,
you have a problem. You
absolutely.
have to kill it now, and I don't think you have 2 removals.
No.
I think it
No,
smells like victory for Markus
if
here.
you couldn't take care of the 7/4, I don't think you can take care of this Ashcloud Phoenix especially
Well,
not
it's
in
a
2
4/1, but
it's in 2 consecutive turns.
true.
And I don't think so, because each of the cards that would take care of the 4/1 instead of such as debilitating injury or perhaps the ancestral.
Yeah.
The double black -1/-1 are both cards you would have placed on the Bloodfire experts to make sure you could double block profitably. So Markus, no, is it? Yeah, it's Olaf's turn. He's considering what his play. So taps 4 mana and play Hunt the Weak. Yeah, that's
I guess
that's good enough. That's the first of 2 needed. So he's gonna
He's ignoring the flame, the Phoenix.
So it would seem, which is very strange. He could have the trick that untaps your creatures +1 untaps your creatures, gives them the reach and depth touch. But
Well, it still doesn't. He deals
No.
5 damage from the air,
yeah,
and
but with the reach, obviously, he could eat.
the reach. Yeah.
the Ashcloud Phoenix. I'm not really sure what cards he could have to really punish Markus besides just a regular removal spell, which won't really cut it. I guess there's Reality Shift. He could be playing that, but that's not really a card you want against aggro. That's a card you want against control.
Yeah, you attack with team here.
Attack with everything.
Do you know what he has in hand? I think it's like another land.
I think it's
No, he
another
can't be
land.
another land because
He has 2 cards, I believe.
he hasn't played a card. Yeah, he has 2 caps.
Yeah. So I believe at least one. I believe one of them is a plains. We don't know what the other
So
one
he
is.
takes.
Oh, he has a ride down. One of those cards in his hand is a ride down.
And it looks like he's probably gonna do it on a different rats. No way, he gotta do it on an angler.
Well, the angler is obviously the stronger card. It punches through more damage if it does.
He doesn't.
well.
He does.
There we go. There's the handshake.
And
So
the dice flying.
yeah. Now, this was more like one of the
better matchup for Markus, I would say.
Yeah. But awkwardly enough, Olof did have some early defense, and really here you see the awkwardness of the 4/1s and the 3/1s that all of a sudden they just stand there. You can't really attack profitably into anything. There we go.
Back in the booth.
Yeah, this is
Victor.
So really, as we said, these games would go fairly quickly in either one direction.
I think both games took 20 minutes, and the first game took 3 minutes, and maybe 2 or 4 minutes, like shuffling up.
I believe also that Olof did flood out a bit in the end. Awkwardly enough.
And Markus is playing much safer, a little safe.
Yes. Markus definitely.
He didn't have such a crazy draw the first game, but he drew a lot of fire.
Yeah, absolutely. So specifically the use of the Bloodfire Enforcers, he's essentially by putting those cards in his deck, the rune marks, he's already saying he's accepting the risk of the 2-for-1 and saying if you don't have it, you don't have it. And this time around, it worked out fairly well for him.
Well, most of the time, I think, considering he is the aggressive deck, he has to. And if you can use a rumor to bait out a rumor spell, sometimes you're fine with it. Because sometimes you maybe have your better creature coming next turn.
Usually you like to play your rune mark.
Or you just want your opponent to tap out and then I will hit you for 8, then next turn I will arrow storm you in the face.
Yeah. Usually you want your opponent to play or rather you want to place your rune marks on cards that aren't really doing anything.
Exactly.
It's like the Smoldering Efreet, for instance, or perhaps we know he's not playing any Valley Dashers, but that's also a card that's fairly
as you said, you don't want to put it on the flyer because that was consistent damage.
Yeah.
And if he has a removal, you wanted to put it on the 7/4.
Yeah.
And you can just continue bashing him down until you find
so,
your burn spells, or if you had a barrage.
Yeah. So sometimes eggs meet basket and it works out.
Yeah.
So really, this time I think he took some kind of significant risk by placing it on what was the most important creature on the board on his side besides the 1/1.
Our producers tell us that backup is on the way, so we're just gonna continue talking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
did he play the you know the burn card everyone plays, the 1/2 haste prowess.
The Monastery Swift
Yeah, Swift Spirit, thank you.
It is in his main deck, but I don't believe we didn't see it any of these games, and it really would not have done any impact on the board whatsoever.
Maybe game 1, because he played a mountain in the past.
Yeah.
So maybe that would be nice, but
even then, I mean.
Yeah, but if he had that instead of arc lightning,
that game would
maybe he would have won, but. Probably not in 3 minutes.
No, absolutely not.
That was probably the fastest game in a long time I've seen.
Yeah. So what Markus really wants to see going upwards in this top 8 now that he's actually through to the semis is he really wants to face the people whose first place is a Morph on turn 3, because that's just a fabulous matchup for him. This is really, I think, these kind of decks which have a really stable late game tend to have also a focused early game and less mid-range cards. So cards like, again, we see Typhoid Rats, we see the 05 blocker. These are cards that you these are cards that you won't see in the more mid-rangey type decks, as well as the other aggro decks.
Well, you have to survive the early game to get to the late game.
Precisely. So
we also have to survive the mid game, but they kind of go like hand in hand.
Yeah. So I think that the more mid-range decks is actually a better matchup for him, because Active Treason becomes so much better. And mid-range decks also tend to have more power in the middle of the curve, which means that he can get through some more damage with an early Bloodfire Expert or Smoldering Efreet. Hopefully not the Monastery Whisperer. I think it's the weakest card in his deck, really. But it's.
We're gonna jump into the game between.
Niklas
Ramqvist
as well as Simon Ragnar.
We've seen both of these players in the player area, I think.
Yes, we have over the course of the day. So here
we
see.
We might have a Ragnar in. We have both of these people for interviews, right?
Yes, we did. Yeah. So Niklas Ramqvist with a strong turn 2 play here with the Frostwalker, so it's gonna get in for 4 damage.
It's almost like a Goyf.
Yeah, it's really good. So here we see most likely it's gonna deal.
He has a Force Away in hand.
Yeah.
As well.
It's going to deal quite some damage and then trade off for a card, which is really way above par for a 2-drop. So here we see what we were talking about earlier. The first play is not actually a morph, it's a 2/3 vanilla Hooded Assassin.
Do you think you force weight this?
You
loot and then you attack for even more?
I don't know what you have on hand, but it would mean an attack for 7.
Yeah, it's an attack for 7 and you get to loot.
Yeah.
which is great.
Yeah. So I can't quite see what he has in hand otherwise.
He has a land, I see at least. So he's probably going to discard a land. Or I think he might have drawn
a skull. That depends. I mean, even in an aggressive deck, you still want your 4th land.
Yeah, true.
So...
Or is he discarding? I think he might have gotten a Skullkeeper. I'm not sure. Maybe he doesn't want to discard that card. What is that?
That's the Renowned Weaponsmith. It's 1/3 that searches up a really janky equipment from cons. So I think he's fairly happy to get rid of that card from his hand. Actually.
So Nicholas has Absent Battle Priest, looks like, which
yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah, not quite in the same spirit as the cards he's already playing, but seeing as how he's including the Weaponsmith in his main deck, or this might actually just be, he might be slightly short on playables.
Yeah.
Now we can't tell whether or not he
might play a couple of feat resistance. I don't know, to be able to get some counters on it.
Yes, but even then, having a bad creature just so you can make it not bad isn't a great reason to include it in your deck. So it could be a sideboard deck for all we know, but even then you have to bring in both that card as well as the Mardu Heart Piercer Bow something. I can't really call the name. I'm sorry. Which really is not something if you draw one so you can't get card advantage off of tutoring it, that's really unfortunate.
It looks like Nicholas having a freaking Weapon Master in his hand, so he's probably playing red then.
Yeah, so probably.
So he's playing Jeskai.
Yeah.
So Jeskai seems like something that people like.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of payoff.
Did we see any good Jeskai cards? The Charm is pretty
right,
but
we didn't see them, which means there are Jeskai players in the draft. Usually,
one was passed.
Yes,
but
but there was also a Mystic of the Hidden Way in that same pack.
Yeah, this is better.
Yeah,
a lot better.
So because usually you can see that sort of common morph cycle like the Epen Weapon Master, perhaps the Absent Guide, going around quite late. So so we play a morph and outlast the other. Yeah. So, and no attacks here because he's unwilling to trade off.
Simon has a big for time.
Oh,
at least that's what Spotter says.
Yeah,
that's a council as well.
Yeah, I think I like.
Yeah, it's a 1-for-1. I mean, it can be.
Yeah,
if you're going for the
if he's straight blue black, I especially like the cancel.
So he has Throttle, a reach shadows.
Yeah,
and. A dig for time as well, at least.
I think it was a Rakshasa's Secret in his hand.
Rakshasa's Secret being really good. A Fueling Delve and
I think it's significantly worse in draft than it is in
yeah, but with his current hand, it's pretty good.
Yeah, since he has stabilized the board, making sure that Niklas isn't really drawing into anything is...
well, that depends what Niklas is drawing into.
Well, obviously, but usually people are keeping their best cards, especially when they're missing their land drop, they're keeping their most powerful cards in hand, or at least their primary ways of interacting with your creatures. So getting those cards out of your hand and just making sure that your opponent is living off the top of your deck can be a very powerful play. But that of course assumes that you've already stabilized the board, and well, Simon is at 7 even though there are no attacks coming in. So he's looking at the Rakshasa Secret. He does not... Nicholas, I believe he's morphed the Frequent Weapon Master as well as the Sage Eye Harrier.
Yeah.
So he does have some mana sinks on the board, so even if he gets rid of the cards he has in hand...
He has double cancel in his hand.
Nicholas does? Or Simon? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's kind of awkward against the... against the morphs. So
that is a Rakshasa Secret.
Yeah, so Rakshasa Secret.
He has 2 accounts in hand, right?
We can only see one. No, there's 2. A land and then one more card.
Is that a feat?
Can't quite tell out. No, it's a Sage Eye Harrier. So there's another unknown morph on the table which we can't quite make out.
Yeah, or it's another Sage Eye.
Yeah,
it probably is another Sage Eye.
Oh, right.
The Sage Eye.
Right, so he could be playing more than one. So it does seem like Niklas has been running sort of short on playables. So he might have been not quite drafting what was the colors that was flowing to him, and maybe he got forced out of those colors a bit, because several of these cards are really nothing you would be very happy to put in your main deck. The Free to Weapon Master and double Sage Eye is, one is fine, two is definitely pushing it.
Yeah, I think it's your.
Yeah, so Crippling
So
Chill.
here's gonna be a cancel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how much I like the play from Simon, because you know that keeping up cancel is usually something you do against your opponent's powerful spells. Not
But
something.
he has double cancel though.
Yeah, sure, but even then, making sure your opponent discards 2 means that whatever he's gonna play, whatever comes off the top.
Let's counterattack here.
I don't think so.
Yeah. I think he forgot about
The Crippling Shield
yeah.
not resolving.
No. I mean the GN having prowess.
Yeah. So 7 lands in hand, Reach of Shadows, cancel, and can't quite make out. Oh yeah, the dig through time. So I think he's definitely just gonna pass the turn here. He has access to all of his cards, and he can play. These are all cards that could be playable in Constructed.
Well, not maybe cancel.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah. Well.
Maybe it was one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you should not be taking my word for it.
Yeah. True.
So.
This is probably end of turn.
Yeah. So Niklas just drawing for the turn and then playing nothing.
Or maybe he's doing this in his turn. I don't know. Considering he took away a lot of cards in the deck. He's playing anymore. I don't know.
The dig for time, you mean?
No, he's playing more double cards.
Oh, I can't tell. We don't have the deck list in front of me. But really, I mean, you can't play too many of that kind of effect.
Yeah.
So here we see Dowsing Gloom. Is that a real? No, that's an Avon Surveyor, I believe.
Avon Surveyor being. All right,
it kills a Frostwalker.
Yeah, exactly.
We've said how the Frostwalker, there aren't actually that many abilities that target it, but that is one.
Yeah.
So he takes 2, and it was in the end of his turn.
Maybe he wanted to held up cancel. Probably.
Yeah. Yeah, and as well as Reach of Shadows, he knew that the...
but he has 4 mana. Reach of Shadows is 5.
Yeah,
right?
sure.
Yeah. Did he take a Surveyor? I think it took he took the Gloom, it seems like.
Yeah.
And the Surveyor.
Yeah, I think he really just wants to make sure he kills those morphs, because he does have a cancel in his hand, but they can't take care if he flips up some huge morph, like the Free Weapon Master, or even just a vanilla morph like a War Behemoth or
Glacier Stalker.
Glacier Stalker would be very relevant on this board. So
injury there.
That's the first one. So is it gonna be the right one? It's the Free Weapon Master.
Yeah.
So
it is the right one.
Yeah, precisely.
At least the most scary one.
Yeah. So now Niklas does not have access to red mana, and we aren't really sure what kind of information Simon has from the earlier game.
Well,
so
I'm guessing he plays
so
red mana.
I mean Simon. Whether or not Simon knows about the Free Weapon Master.
Yeah.
Depending on which morphs he's seen, he might.
We didn't see the first game.
No, exactly.
I think that's pretty sweet control deck.
Yeah.
Still have Reach of Shadows. He has still have Gloom as well.
Yeah.
Gloom is an instant.
I think. He injured it. Right. I thought he used Dousing Gloom on the morph, but no, he did use debilitating injury. So Dousing Gloom takes down the flyer here, leaving only the single vanilla morph, which is probably gonna get unmorphed and block one of the flyers here. Because if I was Simon, I would be assuming that's a morph that takes 5 mana to flip up. The alternatives being quite rare, actually.
Well,
so here we go, Sage Eye Harrier, only 4 mana to flip up and blocking the flyer. Not a blowout by any means, but still not something what Simon was expecting here.
It's like Gloom. Depending how he blocks.
Yeah, so... No, that's a Hooded Assassin. That's much better than a Gloom. So yeah, it did use the Dousing Gloom earlier on the flyer, right? On the 2/1. So I believe it's already in his graveyard. So Niklas stuck on 4 lands. We're not sure what he's got in hand. So 5 mana finally hits, and there's an Avon Surveyor of his own.
Making it a 3.
Making a 3-3. Not very. That doesn't really happen very often, but on this board, I can certainly see why it happens. It dominates the skies all of a sudden, or actually just the board, until it gets reached out of the sky. That's a lot. So 3, 5, 6, 7, 8 damage coming through, I believe.
Did you count in prowess as well?
Yeah.
Does he have another land in hand?
Couldn't quite tell.
Because if he does, he still have cancel backup, and
yeah,
I think it's his game. This looks really bad for Niklas.
Yeah, and he just passes the turn back. So Niklas
has a disdainful stroke.
Oh,
hand in hand.
Yeah, that's awkward.
Yeah, and this is looks like over.
Well, he still has one more draw step, but the cancel is probably gonna make sure that no matter what Niklas draws, it's not gonna be enough.
There are no uncounterable spells. Oh, well, there's one uncounterable spell.
Yeah.
It's Sarek, right?
Yeah, we did see one in the draft, but
yeah,
he's gonna need 2 more colors to play it. So I don't
both
think
red and green.
Yeah, fairly unlikely. There's one of them, but unfortunately, we scoop it up, and there's the handshake.
Packs it up.
So 23 minutes in, could we get potentially a third
backup match? We can see this is going pretty fast.
Yes. So interestingly, the play I was rather skeptical about the Rakshasa Secret with the cancel backup, actually just sealing the game there, making sure that Niklas didn't really have anything going on.
Yeah.
Here, welcome back to the booth. I'm Felix. This is Victor. So we're starting to wrap up the quarterfinals of the top 8 here in Scandinavian Open.
Semifinals probably gonna start soon.
Yeah. Obviously, we don't have any information about how the other 2 matches are going.
Yeah.
But we'll see if we can get that information for you. And I believe that the players are also inclined to make sure that the tournament happens swiftly and smoothly, so they can finish this top 8 during the day.
Where if it takes too long, we'd have to skip the finals and play it in the morning tomorrow, which I don't think anyone wants, because most of the people don't want to go up so early. At least not I don't want to.
I also believe that Micke Mattiasson, who's in the top 8, is an avid eternal enthusiast, and I certainly believe he'll be playing Legacy tomorrow.
Well, I guess we can push it up a little if it's only finals, because that would be nice. I mean,
most likely.
Yeah, but maybe I can play against him tomorrow. Miklas not Ronquist?
No, Micke Mattiasson.
Because I know that Niklas is not playing. He's playing standard.
Oh,
he scoffed at me when I asked him if he was going to play Legacy.
I see. I've never played a game of Legacy in my life.
Wow. You can do it later tonight.
No. All right, so let's see if we can get one of the winners in here.
Well, yeah. We can try to get an interview.
Yeah.
I would like to get an interview.
Yeah, so we'll be back in just a few minutes.